G'day fellas, welcome to a video where we've got a very special guest. In addition to myself casting this series, we've also got Interjection. For anybody who doesn't know, Interjection is a titan of the Age of Empires series, and it's incredibly fortunate that we've got him. So I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm going to let Interjection take it away. Enjoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, spawning on the top of the map in the color blue, we do indeed have, oh my god, I've never said this before, Kaiserklein playing as the United States. Oh boy, that feels good to say.
I bet it does.
Spawning with, of course, 200 wood, XP crate, and the food. In the south, and you don't need to mention the crates anymore, they're all the same. We here have Optimus. Is it Optimus Prime, or are we calling him Optimus BB?
I think we're just going to go with Optimus BB, but you can go back to Optimus Prime. You know, it's much of a muchness, to be honest.
That one has fewer intellectual property problems, though. More, rather.
Oh gosh! All right, I tell you what, I'm incredibly excited to see this match. We've got Kaiserklein now heading towards the middle of the map. Take a look at the line of sight. He's just heading straight out, finding some sheep. Definitely doing a loop around, seeing to spot if he can see Optimus Prime taking any treasures, but nothing yet. Optimus Prime being a little bit safe, just finding in the back of his base 100 coin treasure. Now, this is something I talk about all the time when I'm playing the United States. I love coin treasures early on in the game because it means the earlier, like if I've got a big stack of coin, the earlier I'm going to be getting my bank in. So 100 coin, it's an absolutely huge treasure to start off for Optimus Prime. Collecting that 200 wood. Yeah, I think he may have used his crack shot on an in-base treasure. There we go. Now we see him opening up with the Outlaw Blowgunner, taking it down. We've got Kaiserklein up here moving towards the food treasure here. I think he might be doing it. Yeah, there we go. We see the crack shot for Kaiserklein. So we've now got the three corridor bars coming in, the French immigrants for both players. It looks like they're coming in at the exact same time. Fortunately, that technical issue from earlier seems to have been sorted out with the changeover. Hopefully, it's all good. I'm watching chat. Everything seems fine. How are you feeling? What are your suspicions for this matchup? What do you think we're going to see? Well,
we're seeing French immigrants coming now.
Should we take it?
Sorry, I'm a bit out of practice. Clearly, I have not casted for so long. I'm really not sure what to tell you. Hopefully, I can get the gears going and warm it up a bit. But yeah, this is.
Well, let's take a look at the decks. Tell me what you think about the deck. So we've got Kaiserklein coming in the first deck. A little bit hard to see. Some of the cards are blanked out. We've got the two heavy cannons in Age 4. And also got the Pulaski Legion for the 12 Chapka Ulans.
For the powerful cav switch later on.
Yeah, it's definitely a card that has been taking the United States by storm. It's not what I expected. I thought the Dragoons were going to be the powerful card, but I think Ulans have got the power to just end a fight completely and really secure a cleanup.
This is Kaiserklein's deck, is it?
That's okay. Kaiserklein's deck, yeah.
Let's take a look again. So Kaiserklein here, he's got Dutch, Irish, and French there. It looks like French and Irish, French and Dutch does seem to be the sort of standard opening, so to speak. But look at that Age 2. We got the 12 Seminole Bowman, and stacked with Age 2 cards as well. He has decided to put two heavy cannons in there. Some people have been skipping all Age 4 cards entirely. So there is room to go up to the later ages. But I'm wondering, do you think he might have something a bit earlier planned? Like, we've not really been seeing that.
Really. I didn't expect that
mostly
at all.
Fast Fortress sort of, or semi-FF styles from all of the big streams. But curious card that. Should we take a look at Optimus's deck?
Let's have a look and see what Optimus has got.
Spanish.
Oh, Spanish, yeah. Oh. Didn't expect that.
Okay. No Irish. Irish is pretty safe because it just gets better and better and you can send it at any point in the game. I don't feel the same way about Spanish.
Yes, I agree with you completely. And I feel like it's either Spanish or Dutch. It's almost like you can't go both of these. It'd be almost a little bit too greedy to do. They kind of, they're both the transition card. So yeah. Maybe he's got something in the works. So maybe it's just a flex pick. You're kind of confusing your opponent as well. If your opponent sees this, they don't know what's coming. It could be Spain. It could be Dutch. So that's always something to consider.
Second shipment rather, coming in now. He's gathering food, so it is going to be Spanish. Interesting. And Optimus's deck, if you look at it, well, we already have looked at it, is much more fortress oriented. He's got the bare bones you might need to get up to fortress. So you could argue, or you can, with Spanish immigrants, call those pikemen and be really aggressive and do some frustrating, annoying, like send them over to your opponent, start sieging things. But I think really what he's interested in is that XP. And those pikemen, well, they're consulate pikemen. They're going to shadow tech for free. If you can keep calling them, they don't lose HP. You're going to build up a small mass of pikemen. They're going to get buffed when you hit the next stage. It kind of synergizes with, I think, what he's got in mind, a fast fortress, some Gatling guns, something like that.
One of the things I love about the pikemen is obviously that they don't lose HP, but it's essentially like you're getting a free batch of units. You don't have to worry about the training time. You don't have to worry about the building. You just get it immediately.
Yeah.
That's what I really like about it. So let's take a look and see what we've got aging up. So we've got Massachusetts on the age up for Optibb. Let's check and see what did Kaiserklein go up with. He's reached the second age now. So Kaiserklein has gone up with Pennsylvania. So already we've got some different build orders opening up, but we've got a barracks going down from Kaiserklein in the middle of the map. So it's 431 and this barracks is already going down using one of the French couriers. Yeah, so now we've got
like that.
Yeah, so it's we've got the flag right on top of it. It's going to increase the build speed of the outpost as well as the barracks, and then the training speed on top of that as well. But we've got some settlers out here from Optibb as well.
I actually really like what he's doing. Like Kaiser, okay, we've seen mostly fortress stuff, but look, this barracks is just out the edge away from his base. It's kind of on the periphery of where you're allowed to put your flag. And remember, that flag's boosting it boosted the build speed by 50%. That barracks went up real fast. And then he's going to start queuing some units, and they're going to train 25% faster as well. So flag there, being able to use it in a productive way, where if you put that barracks in your base, you don't get those benefits.
And that's exactly it. Yeah, the flag has definitely got that radius on it. So I think you've hit the money or the nail on the head right there. But we've got Kaiserklein also sending Philadelphia Convention behind this. So the Philadelphia Convention is essentially the unique church card for the United States. You can't get it unless you age up with with Pennsylvania. And it's going to enable, it's going to provide that meeting house wagon, and it's also going to give him access to the unique technologies, including a very powerful coin trickle, which is equivalent to a bank. Well, just shy of a bank, a little bit short of it. But now
just shy. We did have it pegged at a bank, but it felt maybe a bit strong. Well, you never really know. But yeah, lots of coin coming in. That's the point, right? That bank, that trickle, and that means most of his villagers are going to be gathering food. And if he can get the steel traps in, he's going to have a powerful sort of economy here. State militia coming out, definitely one of the US's better units here, and comboing them. It looks like Optimus with the pikemen there, so a nice way to protect them. That unit, which is weak to cavalry, of course.
Yeah,
going up against the regulars with the long range, trying to kite the muskets away. I like it.
It's an interesting matchup in the early game because you've got the regulars that have got the 14 range, and they're up against the state militia, which have got the 13 range. So you got to be very careful until you've got that upgrade card for them in the second age, the long rifle card, which increases it by 4. And we've got some wood shipped here to a forward base right now. This is not optimal for Optimus Prime.
No, that shouldn't be there. Thankfully, though, he's going to gather it up. But that villager, Mike... Oh, here comes CDPs! Oh, boy. And they gather crates faster than normal vills, right?
They
so going to try and steal that wood. Yeah, no, that's not ideal.
And now we've got Minutemen being called as well. And meanwhile, we've got the battle that's unfolding at the top here. These Minutemen are going to be able to deal with the state militia of
Optibb. Did he just gather? That's insane.
That is a lot of wood.
Sorry, tell us about the fight.
Does the flag increase the wood gather speed right now? We actually just saw the Coureur de Bois picking off the settler just so that they could pick up the wood crates as well.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Well, they got 17 ranged attack. You send that French immigrants, it doubles the village's attack, and CDB have 8 attack to start with. Like, they're not weak. They are not they're not weak units.
Oh my gosh. If I'm Optimus right now, I'm feeling incredibly demoralized. This is the
nerves,
first game.
Right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of money on this game, and it's everyone's going to be watching it, even if it wasn't live at the time. You forget to switch these things over. Oh boy.
Gosh, that is just... That's very painful, but we've got 700 wood coming in now from Kaiserklein behind this. I think that'll be his fourth card. It is indeed the fourth card, the second card of the second age. And the mass now starting to build for Optimus. This is looking pretty formidable. He's got 16 state militia. So state militia, for anybody who's new to the United States, each state militia is going to add 1 hit point to the state militia next to it. So if you've got 16 state militia, that increases all of the hit points of the state militia by 16. So pretty formidable. He's now got up to 20 state militia. So increasing the hit points of all of his state militia by 20 points. So it really starts to add up.
They definitely are better in numbers. And but that limit, there is a limit of 30 there, so that's the number you sort of want to get to. The drawback of it is that each time a militia dies in a fight, all of them lose 1 hit point. So you sort of lose, if you've got 30 units, about 30, 29 each time one dies. So they do sort of trickle down like that. But does one health really matter on a single unit? Well, maybe if it's a break point, but yeah, lots of state militia here, and that speed, he's able to sort of just move in around those. He's got some sharpshooters out. I was like, they aren't regulars.
Yeah, those are sharpshooters. So that's coming in from the Philadelphia Convention, I think. I want to say Philadelphia Convention. I'm just going to double check the name of the card quickly. The Philadelphia Convention is indeed. So it's the 5 sharpshooters, so which are normally only available in the 3rd age, unless you send that long rifles card. But putting out a bit of work now, so they've got the extra range on them, 20 range, so quite long, especially compared to the 13 range of the State Militia. But you mentioned earlier about 1 HP making the difference. Take a look at this State Militia. We've got 0.
That got 0 HP.
So probably what's happened is it's had 1 or 2 HP, and then a bunch of State Militia have died around it, and then that's just fallen off, going down to 0.
Well, units can have, if they have less than 1 hit point, it will show like that. And the sharpshooters actually do 14.2 damage, because when you get them up to when they shadow tech to Fortress Age stats, that rounds up just perfectly. So actually, that might be why it was on 0.
Right, that would make sense. Yeah. So, but we've got the Cav switch now coming in from Kaiserklein. So looking like he's probably going to be able to pick off the majority of the forces that are here. The remaining pikemen that were here have been picked off by the sharpshooters. So despite only having a small army, he's managed to really deal with this. The cavalry now sort of falling back onto Mr. William Moultrie of the United States for Optimus, but now heading back onto the State Militia, sitting underneath this tower. This tower is going to be putting out some good DPS, getting that extra 1.5 bonus damage against cavalry underneath the tower. Also reinforcements right next to it. So we've got 700 coin coming in from Kaiserklein. Optimus, has he got any shipments on the way? He doesn't.
Oh boy. And State Militia may be good, but they are still, ranged infantry, and those cav are really, really running them ragged.
Yeah.
And I like this. Keeping those sharpshooters safe though in the back. Only the cavalry pursuing here. Really has cleaned up them quite effectively.
Yeah, I didn't think he's going to be able to do it, but I guess you underestimate, or sorry, I should say overestimate the power of State Militia. I guess often I look at them and I think of them as a skirmisher, but I'm probably going to start thinking of them more like a strelet, just because, well, we had 5 cavalry against, about 20 State Militia just then, and well, they didn't really have too much trouble cleaning them up at all, but we've got a raid now from Kaiserklein, some 5 more cav over here. We do have that 700.
Amalgamate?
Yeah, that was amalgamation, I think. So amalgamation.
Is it coming in for free?
Yes, it is indeed. It is coming in with the Hamiltonian economics. So for anybody unfamiliar with Hamiltonian economics, it sets all the market technologies to free, and it also increases the buy factor, decreases the buy factor for your market rate. So it means that instead of buying wood at 125, improves it. So instead of buying wood at 125, I think you buy it at 110 or 115. It's pretty cheap though. It's good stuff. It's definitely one of the advantages I like to look for when I ship Hamiltonian.
Yep, and now looks like Optimus coming in with Pilgrims here, which is going to boost his eco. Hussars and regulars in queue. Frontiersmen coming in as well.
Yeah.
What are we looking at this point in the game? So what's the card orders been, and how are you feeling about their positions on the map? Kaiserklein, has got, it looks like a pretty solid lead. So shall we sort of recap this and see how we got here?
Yeah, so we've got the Plymouth Settlers coming in for Optibb. So his build order was the French immigrants into the Spanish immigrants, and then from there, I think he went 700 wood straight away, and then he went into a combination of State Militia or long rifles, and then eventually shipping Hamiltonian economics. And we know that because he's only recently finished all of his upgrades in. It is at 11 minutes. And now shipping the Plymouth Settlers. So typically we've seen players go with Plymouth Settlers earlier rather than later, because it is 3 villages that you can get. Often you can finish your batches a lot easier as well. Yeah. And then on the other side, we've got Kaiserklein, who is now aging up to the Fortress Age, going up with New Hampshire, which is, and Optibb in the chat.
So that's what we're wondering as well, and trying to figure out. Yeah, Optimus is so he's got a lot of economic things in here, especially with the Pilgrims and having just finished. That was Opti who went with the Hamiltonian, right? So strong economy. What is Kaiserklein got?
So Kaiserklein, let's take a look and see what he's got. So he went.
The bank has definitely been contributing it.
Yeah,
I think Kaiser's right to point that out.
So the French immigrants, the bank, and then he went straight into Philadelphia Convention for that trickle. So he was going very.
He's had the eco better for longer.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So he's had this bank trickling since 4 minutes, and then he's had the meeting house trickle, or the unique church trickle, or the unique church trickle coming in for, gosh, what must it be? Close to 6 minutes, or from a 6 minute mark, probably he had that up, or maybe 5 minutes. But we got a bit of a fight breaking out.
Kaiserklein aging up though, and it is age slow, of course. That's the only option you get here. So this is a good moment for Opti, even if he has been sort of on the back foot there. And it looks like he's going to mostly clean this up. Kaiser keeping his hussars sort of safe in the back there. He's waiting for those regulars to pop. There they are. He's now going to get that first shipment in queue. Pretty sure we know what that's going to be.
There it is.
The Gatling guns. There it is. And it's that veterancy for the hussars I expect here. So sort of just waiting for this to all come together. And then he's going to be able to repel this out of his base. So Kaiserklein sort of spending that early advantage he built up with the bank, sending those powerful trickles early. Oh, state militia. Thankfully, though, they are quite fast. So the hussars and the pikemen, they're still going to come over there and try and sort of push that away. But it looks like Kaiser doesn't really care. He's just going to destroy the pikes. He's got so many cavalry units there. Gatlin's still about a third away, so it looks like Opti's definitely going to be able to get some lasting damage in terms of destroying this stable, possibly other infrastructure. The question is now, does Opti, because Opti's going to know there's going to be a shipment popping out any second. It's been about 40 seconds. So does he stay here, or is he going to go? And it looks like he's going to stay. No, he sees the Gatlins, and this is, I think, a little bit of an overstay. If he'd left moments ago, I think maybe he could be halfway across the map, and this wouldn't be a problem for him.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you 100%. There were a couple of hussars that were chasing the general for Opti, so they're still behind at the moment. But if they'd been over sieging this stable, the stable would have been down completely. Never would have had a veterancy upgrade. And I think at this point, it's looking pretty likely Kaiserklein's going to take out the first game of the series.
Wow.
Really just using the Gatling guns as his skirmisher unit, and then the veteran hussars. And Opti BB calling the good game right there.
GG. Switch to Opti. Let's see what he's got. I mean, he's an age behind now. He's calling GG himself. I don't think he's got anything left to give, and there you go. He's gonna call it there.
Wow.
So yeah, nicely done from Kaiserklein, setting up with the eco there. But a good push from Opti. It looked promising, especially since Kaiser was aging, but he got up, and not really too much damage was done, and was able to push it back and sort of win the game there.
It can be tough with the United States because they don't have that access to the fast stage without specifically going for the Virginia General Assembly. There's always that larger window for a timing attack to hit, and that is exactly what we saw. So Opti BB just really recognizing that Kaiser was probably going up and trying to hit him before he aged up, trying to take out the military infrastructure before he can get those upgrades in. But unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be, and Kaiserklein pulling ahead. So we can take a look at the post-game screen. Is there anything that you'd like to see in particular?
Yeah, let's take a look at military count, because I think one of the unsung heroes of Opti's economy was not necessarily his resources gathered, but actually those perhaps pikemen that he was keep getting for free. Like, if you think about how much value they give, it's only 5 now, isn't it? It was 6 at one point.
I remember being 6. I think it must have been 6 a little bit earlier. Yeah, maybe last week it was 6, and now it's 5. But yeah, it's still a huge amount of units in the early game. It feels really good to get those out.
Yeah, well, but that's something. The same is kind of true of regular Minutemen as well. But they do lose hit points. But it is what it is.
We can see the real
Kaiser
difference.
Clearly has the stronger eco.
Yeah, so a huge difference coming out. So at the 10-minute mark, let's have a look. That's where I've been measuring most build orders. So at the 10-minute mark, we've got 10,100 resources gathered versus 8,000, about 300 resources gathered. So quite a difference between the two. So we might update that scoreboard at the top there. Give 1 point over to Kaiserklein.
Yeah.
Is that backwards? I think that one is backwards. Hold on a minute.
Oh boy.
All right, now it's
somehow.
Now it's the right way around.
Did I say free? I didn't mean free then, Harrison. I meant like they cost 150 food and coin, but you get more units than well, it's a net value. Although with 5 pikemen, that's not as good as 6. I'll point out. That's better. That's not mirrored. So that's game 1, is it? Is it just so the USA mirror is just for the first game?
Correct. Yeah. So each player is able to play one civilization once. So that means that neither player can now play the United States. Though, because as far as I'm aware, Kaiserklein actually likes the United States. I did see someone posted on ESOC saying Kaiserklein said on stream that he actually likes the design of the United States. So I was very, very curious. You know, my fear was, well, hold on a minute. He's not getting another France. He's not getting another Germany. He's not going to like the United States, but really respecting.
Maybe we'll see it again from Kaiser. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? Oh, gosh. I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can, you know, pull out with that. And especially
Game
seeing,
2,
yeah.
USA Mirror.
Yeah, both players really loving it. All right, well, let's jump into the second game. All right, let's take a look and see what we've got.
Kaiserklein said he likes something. Asks Johnny. Oh boy, I like Kaiserklein. We used to cast a lot on the Escape channel, and he's done so much for the community in that regard, helping us cast those games. That was a long time ago when I was at Escape. Shall we get into this match, though, ladies and gentlemen? Spawning in the bottom of the map in the color blue, we do indeed have Optimus BB playing this time as the Russians, finding a sheep off the bat. What treasures are nearby, Drongo? Let's scroll up there. What's he got? What's he coming across? Food treasure, probably. You always find them on New England. 75 food. Going to start on that. All right. His opponent, though, Kaiserklein, playing as the Ottomans. Oh, this is definitely one of Kaiser's signature civs. Good map for it, too. 4 trading posts, New England. And his explorer coming across coin. Not going to go for that right away. Does see a sheep, though, going straight for it. Going to look for some of those bigger treasures. We know where they are. There's a black bear treasure up north. There's some more to the left here. What's he going to come across? Mature bear cub. And the 3 bears is guarding 135 XP. So I think Optibb off to a nice start with the food, but still some decent treasures on that side of the map.
Definitely.
Drongo.
Yes. So interestingly, Optibb BB was the one who got to choose this map. So he said, I want to play on New England. And so he's chosen this map. And then Kaiserklein would have said, all right, well, if we're going to play New England, I'm going to pick the Ottomans. And Optibb BB responding there by going. So I think this is the flags look quite similar, but he's actually on the Germans. So we've got the 70 food treasure here, not looking too bad. Optibb's explorer's name is Kaiserklein.
Well, that's not confusing at all, is it?
Okay, and Kaiserklein's explorer's name is it's Bosnali Kilic. So very, right. I'm glad that
not Optibb BB. They're not conspiring to confuse to confuse us.
Yeah, one of the things that we just saw. So while Kaiser was building his trading post, he actually got up off the ground, shot Optibb's explorer, and then kept building the trading post in the downtime just to really try and
of course,
give him that extra little DPS just to get it out. And
only Kaiser would do that.
Yeah,
that's brilliant. That's really not just getting that extra. You don't want to miss that. Whatever it is. What is it? The 56. Yeah, I can't see. Oh, he's in melee mode, right? That's why we can't see it. It's 12 damage. I know it's 12 damage. What? Right. Yeah, not going to miss a trick.
Yeah.
Ottoman does get his trading post down though, which he was going to do, and nicely done from Optibb for he got the food treasure, found the trading post, and managed to catch the snare. So really nice age 1 from Optibb. Getting use out of that explorer and still having time to snare this guy and chase him all the way home.
Yeah, so often, whenever I'm playing and I'm chasing someone's explorer, people will often call me Kaiserklein because it's something that he's infamous for doing. He will just chase the opponent's explorer back to their base, try and take as much HP off them as he can. And now we actually see Kaiserklein from Optibb BB doing that to Kaiserklein, the player.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
That is, there's some poetic justice or irony here. I'm not sure which, but some kind of something like that.
Indeed. So we actually see Kaiserklein stacking up a shipment in age 1. I'm not sure if this is intentional, but not shipping the 3 villages. Doesn't have 5 villages in his deck either, so not sure exactly what's happening here. And then we've got Optibb BB, who's got the 2 settler wagons on the way.
Why would you skip 3 vills though? Does he think is he doing something funky, or is this an error?
I reckon he could be doing something funky.
Kaiserklein's played Ottoman so many times, right? This cannot be an error. This has to be intentional. He's ignoring 3 vills.
Just give me a moment. Someone has mentioned no in-game sound, so I'm just going to try turning that up to max, see if that one works for us.
All right.
It's a little bit louder now.
I hope it's not. I hope it's not Discord, the call, and your PC has thought, oh, he's on a call. I better turn down the game sounds and everything.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so we've turned it up a little bit. Hopefully, it's a little bit better now.
Yeah. All right, so no 3 vills. What do you make of that?
I'm quite honestly confused. I guess I feel like 3 vills is such an important shipment for the Ottomans because as a civilization that doesn't get to train its villagers, and they do generate much slower. 3 villages is a lot more of an important shipment. Yeah, so now the second shipment.
Well, he clearly wants to do something more aggressive with the shipment. Then save the value for the next stage, send it perhaps some kind of resources, or use it to fuel something aggressive. I mean, what else? Well, perhaps we shan't dwell on it too much. There is one thing I want to mention though. Now that units will wait to spawn.
Yes, true.
And villages, the Ottoman villages will do that, but it's not like he's making use of that. I wondered perhaps if Ottoman could skip a house or something, and then the villager wouldn't be lost, and then when you do build a house, it would pop out or something like that. But
I think what it could be, Kaiserklein is the kind of guy who does the math. Okay, I reckon he said, you know what? Oh no, the shift click bug. No, not the. What's happening, Kaiserklein? Quickly, he's shift clicked it and it's gone, and he's just. I don't even think he's tapped it, and oh my gosh, he's gonna be heartbroken. Okay, he's realized now, bringing it back. But what I would suspect is that, and dropping a Rax now, what I would suspect is that he got in such an early age up. He aged up at about 3 minutes 30. And he's probably just said, you know what? By the time these villagers arrive, it's going to be at the point where I don't actually, like, sure, I'm going to have 3 villagers, but I could just send an age 2 shipment. Am I going to want 3 villagers, or am I going to want 700 wood and 700 coin back to back? And he's probably just said, well, you know, I'll just skip him. You know, this could be the new meta right here, but I'm very curious what's going to happen with this trading post. I don't know whether that was intentional. I suspect it wasn't, though.
Going down. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Now, Optibb's Explorer at the top of the map, still just waiting for this 85 wood treasure. Outpost going down as well. Age up now for Optibb has happened. Going to be doing a tower rush, putting a bit of early aggression onto Kaiserklein. Sending the 3 settler wagons as the first card.
Settler wagons coming. I like the outpost there. It's, you know, guarding the trade route. It's next to the water, which is really nice, and he's popping down a barracks there. But, you know, not going to be shipping any military units to that tower, which is often why a tower will be placed by Germany. No, just going to place it there with a Rex.
I like this. It's almost feigning aggression. You're kind of saying to your opponent, hey, I'm going to hit you real hard, real fast, watch out. But at the same time, you're sending, you know, 3 settler wagons behind it, so you're not really.
Nope.
So we've now got Kaiserklein taking the 3rd trade post. Optibb also picking up the 85 wood treasure as well. What are you expecting to see? How do you suspect this matchup's going to evolve?
Well, I don't know. He sent 3. He didn't send his 3 vills, and now he's getting millet system of all things. Let's take a look at the map. What does Kaiser do? He's got an artillery foundry down. Okay, so that seems to be it. He wants the extra resources to fuel, you know, immediate production from 2 buildings. So we've got janissaries perhaps, and, you know, coin was coming in after that. So Abbas guns as well. Is that it? He's playing, you know, Jan Abbas in Colonial with a bit of extra oomph in the early game because he's skipping the 3 vills in fate. I think that's what he's up to.
I think so as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have loved to have seen him with this kind of build order, maybe even potentially trying to fit in a Silk Road, because with the extra 25% from crates, once you've aged up, you're going to get the extra 400 resources from the quartermaster.
3 Huss. Yeah, this definitely feels like some kind of Kaiser timing that he's got planned.
Yeah, this is a very...
Because this has to be it. This has to be, like, when those 3 Huss arrive, that has to be the moment where this build is at its strongest, because skipping 3 vills, you know, over the course of the game, that is really going to add up. So I think we're going to see his big timing, his big spike sort of coming up here, and we'll see what he's sort of able to get done. Optibb, you know, he sent those three settler wagons, which it's not by no means a slow card. It's one of the best cards in the game, so it can't really be slow. But it's not military. It's not resource crates. It is slower. And I wonder if that timing, therefore, from Kaiser that is coming up will be more effective against Opti at this moment. Perhaps we'll see something happen now.
Yeah, my fear is that there's no pikemen out right now. So he could have very easily just trained 5 pikemen. And often, you know, a German player is going to use their Uhlans as best that they can to defend any potential cavalry coming in from their opponent. But pikemen really just, you know, they're the only unit that's really going to do the trick. And so now we've got this timing coming in from Kaiserklein. The Kaiserklein timing, so that the Abbas guns coming in behind it. So we've got 8 Abbas guns now out on the field, 11 Janissaries, and the 3 Hussars from the shipment.
This is it. Kaiserklein coming in with that big timing. 3 Hussars have arrived. He's got Jan Abbas on the field, going for the outpost here. Crossbowmen taking some shots. Let's switch on over to Optibb. No, we don't need to. There it is. 8 crossbowmen arriving just in time. Ulan's on the Cav there. Cav's switching over. There's not too many left. Jan's moving forward. The crossbows are going to counter them pretty hard, though. And I don't think Abbas guns are particularly effective. I mean, they're good, but crossbows have more range.
Yeah.
And the Jans are sort of like, there's no Cav to really challenge this, but Kaiser pushing forwards. He's got his Jans pretty close to those crossbows, and Janissaries, muskets, that kind of thing. They do well against crossbowmen when they're able to fire, when they're in range. But now, sort of walking back, to me, this looks really good for Optimus.
I've got to agree with you. This looks very, very good for Optimus. The fact that he's got those 3 settler wagons in as well, just means that he doesn't have to worry about his economy. Whereas Kaiserklein, he never shipped those 3 villagers. He is essentially all in at this point. And the fact that Opti's been able to hold this attack, and Kaiserklein doesn't even have 5 villagers to ship in, so he can't really go greedy at all. Doesn't have stagecoach either, so there's just absolutely no. It was a timing attack, and unfortunately, it did fail. Now we've got the 2 galleys coming in, so 20 range on each of the galleys. Looks like he's going to be
powerful unit.
Yeah,
not particularly many hit points though, so going to be vulnerable to that outpost there. And but if they can get some shots off, they have a high damage output against these crossbowmen. They're going to be very powerful. But I don't know.
Do they one shot?
Do
they one shot?
100 damage. Yeah, siege damage. Crossbowmen are going to go down in one shot. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
That's actually perfect.
Yeah, that's a pretty nice interaction right there.
But I think Opti rather, once he sees those galleons, and he'll know what's up. Like, I don't think he needs to worry really too much. Maybe just start picking off these trading posts and sort of accept that. Well, perhaps he doesn't realize that his opponent skipped 3 vills. I mean, that's not something you'd think about, is it?
Yeah, I don't think so. I know that he did have the Ulans pretty close to the town center. The town center was firing on them, so he would have been able to see all the resource crates underneath the town center. Now Kaiserklein.
Here we go. Galleys coming in though for that one shot on the crossbowman, and pushing forward now with Janissaries and Abbas.
They're trying to get that shot off, but they never got it off. They just kind of sat there. But it looks like the tower or the outpost is going to go down.
Definitely enough to zone away those crossbows. He's going to be able to get rid of that tower, and then there'll be nothing threatening these galleys, and the galleys will be primed to take down this barracks, which is on the coast. And those crossbowmen can't really do anything about it. Those galleys are so powerful.
Yeah, they just provide exactly what you said. They just zone off Opti's forces, and there's really nothing he can do. He can just sort of leave them there and let them do the work from here on in. The Abyss gun's now taking shots off at the crossbowmen. Opti really doesn't need to do anything from this point other than just continue massing, I think.
And getting that outpost up, which is really nice there as well. So let's switch on over to Opti. Does he have caravels on the way? Does he have them in deck? I wonder about that. He does have them there, so that is available to him. Okay, the outpost's really good. If that hadn't have gone down, I was thinking Kaiser was starting to get back in a good spot, because he's got those 3 trading posts, and the galleys are going to give him the flexibility and mobility he needs just to move up and down the trade route and sort of protect them. One does go down though. I'm not sure how delayed I am, but one going down, and that's the power of that outpost there. Really good anti-ship attack.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure exactly why Kaiser decided to shoot this outpost. It's quite interesting because it's just got so much health on it, and as you mentioned, the galleys are quite weak. They will die to 6 attacks from the outpost, but a very, very well placed outpost.
He's going to get it down.
You think this is actually going to go down? He's got 480 health left on it.
No, it looked close, but that galley just has much less hit points than a caravel. Doesn't stand up too long.
Oh,
that's very, very low health. Does Kaiser come in to try and stop the repair? He's got 15 seconds. I don't know exactly how long it is, but
we've got the 2 caravels coming in.
Is there something he can do just to get that last 80 health?
It's probably something that he could go for, but the main issue is that he's got 2 caravels. Yeah, we've got St. Johann Baptist, the caravel, as well as Lydia, the caravel, coming in for Optibb now. So really going to provide a lot of pressure, getting the broadside attack off on the Abyss guns, really taking them out. Some Ulans here that are going to be knocked out by the Janissaries combined with the Abyss guns. So quite a decent mass building up for Opti. He's got 7 Ulans now, 2 more coming in. I'm not sure whether he shipped those or built them, but this is going to be enough Ulans to really deal with the Abyss guns, and the crossbowmen are going to be more than capable of cleaning up the Janissaries. So I suspect with the caravels on the backline taking out the barracks, that Kaiserklein is not going to be long for the world. The score is definitely pulling ahead now. Optibb up by more than 3,000 points. And even though all of those Ulans are going down, he's definitely in a position. Kaiserklein knows that he didn't invest a lot of his shipments in his economy. No 3 vills, no 5 vills. And as a result, I think that it's pretty much going to be all she wrote from this point. Realistically, what do you think it is that he can do?
Well, I think the better question is, never mind. That is the end of the game. Good time to call it there. I was thinking, maybe Kaiser's gonna try and play it out a bit longer. I'll try and say something to hype it. Nope, that's the end of that.
Yeah, look.
Curious. Do you think he just forgot and thought, at this point it's too late? I'll just send send crates.
That we're talking about Kaiserklein. He doesn't forget. He's
yeah,
a machine.
But we saw those forward. We saw forward crates in the last game. Maybe they're both a bit nervous. This is a big game.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. All right. Well, that takes the score up to 1-1. So Optimus Prime evening up the score. So now the advantage is going to be with. I'm just going to fix up that. I'm going to delete that. Sorry, guys. I'm just going to fix that up just so that the ones look even. Because otherwise it's going to annoy a whole bunch of people to have two differently sized ones, differently bolded or differently. Sorry, just bear with me, Inter. You keep them busy. You keep them busy.
I'm hoping to see more USA. That's kind of what that would be cool. That would be cool. Black Widow saying FF is way better. I wonder if that is a better option to play against Germany as Ottomans. But then, like, I feel like what Kaiser really usually does, what he's good at as Ottomans, is grabbing that trade route, which is what he sort of tried to do, get Stagecoach and just sort of have a super powerful eco. But didn't manage to get it rolling this game.
Yeah, I think Opti definitely made the right choice in putting that forward outpost. That forward outpost going down, the rack's right behind it, and really challenging Kaiserklein and saying, you're not going to get control of this outpost. But interestingly, Kaiserklein hitting him with that timing, which, to be honest, was almost the perfect timing, and yet still it wasn't able to hold. The Ulans just managing to deal with the 3 Hussar shipment. So, yeah, really interesting stuff.
You got millet system too. Like, there's a few curious things.
Yeah.
Here. All right, shall we move on into the next one?
Let's do it.
What maps have you got coming up? You mentioned that Opti picked New England. I thought that was quite curious. Is that Interjection? Yeah, no, I'm not sure that's gonna stick. Harrison, come back to me with some more ideas. I liked Interjection. That kind of sounded good. Interjection.
I can see the chat still saying no in-game sound.
That doesn't make sense.
Aussie-jection. Aussie-jection's good. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aussie-jection.
I think I might have that option turned on call sound because I just can't hear any sound. I've got it turned up to maximum right now on the computer. But yeah, just not getting any volume from it. Hold on. I know why. Here we go.
Here you go. Now you're going to blast chat.
Yeah, there you go, guys.
All they're going to hear is your menu clicking sounds, and we'll be like tiny voices in the background. Thunk, thunk, thunk.
I figured out what it was. I've got this little, this manual sort of mixer that I use to control things, and I'd forgotten to push it back all the way. I must have dropped the mic at some point. I forgot to push it back up. So let me turn down the music. And I'll turn down the in-game volume sounds as well, because I suspect they're probably going to blast everybody away. But yes, when it comes to maps for this series, so we put the emphasis is on the player's choice and really giving the advantage to the loser. So giving them an option for a home map that they can choose anytime. So it's going to be Kaiserklein's choice of map in this game. And then Opti's going to be picking his civ, and then Kaiserklein can pick his matchup from that civilization. You ready to jump into it?
Rules. I'm always a big fan of giving the loser just that tiny little edge. Like, you pick the next map, you pick your civ, that kind of thing. That always makes me feel like it's I'm ready. I'm gonna stop babbling. Yeah, I'm ready for game 3. Let's see what we got.
No. That you're perfectly fine. I agree with you, because one of the things I find is if you're able to pick the map that you want and play the matchup on that map that you want, then you're more likely to win, and then it kind of like extends the series out a little bit longer, makes it a little bit more fair.
Yeah. And I think as everyone watching's probably cottoned on to that, that's kind of what we're, in the business of, making the series exciting and intense.
Exactly.
I think it does that. I like it. All right, game 3. Will we see some more USA? I don't know. It's a civ that is not feeling like, I feel like Swedes is probably up there. And then people don't have as much experience with it as perhaps. So yeah, here we have France versus British, spawning in the south of the map in the color blue. We do have Kaiserklein crack-shotting his wood there, 35 wood, but not going to pick it up. Going to send his explorer off into the wilderness towards a trading post on the top side here. We'll pick up that wood later, possibly with one of his villagers. His opponent, Optibb, playing as the British. Kind of doing the same. The explorer's just taken a different route, but I would be surprised if we see a trading post. But it looks like he's making a beeline for one. No, 2 mana's going down. Not going to be the case. Would be unusual to see it, although it's not unheard of. But yeah, 2 mana is going to get those 2 villages, and we're off to the start of the game. Top trading post he's picked. I assume that must be the one for the first pass.
Yeah, I was curious to see whether we were going to have that trading post coming in down at the south, but it doesn't appear that it's going to be the way, so I guess we're going to be ignoring the Virginia company today for Optibb. I wonder what he's got in plan for us. Taking down this line as well, he has found the holy grail of British treasures right here. He's got an 80 wood treasure guarded by 2 lions, and another 80 wood treasure guarded by 2 lions right next to each other, but... Yep. Kaiserklein is scouting this out. Undoubtedly going to be on the way down here almost immediately, I suspect. It's a pretty good looking treasure, and I think that's what he's going to be after. Actually, there's a 75 food here. Probably might be taking that one out as well. Let's take a look and see what we've got in the decks for Kaiserklein. Very standard deck, with the exception of the fact that there's 5 cards in the Industrial Age. Take a look at the name of the deck. What do you make of that?
1v1 Indus. No, I think this is a colonial strat. Yeah. Must be. No, 5 cards in there. 6 cuirassiers, 4 culverins as well. There's a lot of money in there. A lot of powerful shipments. So I think that he's definitely got that in mind. Yeah, and we'll see how he manages to get there.
Yeah, I'm very curious. I'm very keen to see. I hope he pulls it out. And then let's have a look and see what Opti's got in his deck. So he's got land 2 decks, so the infinite 2 rockets that are coming in. Also, a lot of cav upgrades. We've got full upgrades, actually. Full cav upgrades, full infantry upgrades, the 10 longbows, 4 Huss as well as 5 Huss, and now taking that second wood shipment on the south side of the map. So despite, I guess he probably didn't see that the native scout from Kaiserklein running past, but interestingly losing a lot of HP on his explorer here, not opting to micro or do the, the shoot and scoot. I don't really know what it's called, but...
tackle that line like a man. There we go. Brings it down.
William Bath definitely doing a bit of damage.
2 big wood treasures, really, really nice. That happens a lot because there are not that many different treasures for the Asian maps, so they seem to get repeated a fair amount.
Yeah, one of the things I find on this map is there's a lot of coin treasures, but very fortunately for Optibb, he's found the 2 really big wood treasures on this map. I don't think there's too many.
And that's great for British.
Yeah, really, really good for them. But now, it looks like William Bath may go down to the native scout here. We've got the Inuit scout chasing Optibb's explorer all the way back to his town center. I suspect he's probably going to put a few villagers into the town center because he's almost aged up. I doubt he's going to be
a lot of line of sight, is he? Like, Opti's sort of gone down there, picked up 2 wood treasures, and sort of now he's confined to his base because the native scout says he can't leave.
Yeah.
So, not too much scouting, and he's definitely not going to be able to see what French is up to. So that could be an issue. So might have to play sort of a bit more of a conservative build, something that's a bit more flexible.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Unfortunately, not being able to do that Virginia company in base, so it's going to be a bit more difficult. But he can barely see his own hunts. He knows he's got a hunt out here. If he was careful, he would have seen a hunt that he had just right here on the edge. Actually, that's his starting hunt. He doesn't even know where his second hunt is. Spawning up to the north, though, and taking a crack shot now. He's going to be really careful.
I don't need line of sight. I just want these treasures.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it. I mean, he's got some great treasures so far. I'm curious to see if he's going to be able to pull this one off. The explorer did shoot the tiger, but I think he's just decided, you know what, I'm not even going to risk it. I don't want to give that XP to Mother Nature. Now going up with the quartermaster for Kaiserklein as well. He looks like he's going to be aging up about 4 minutes and 6 seconds. Yeah, he's got that market up. Placer mines coming in. Hunting dogs already researched on Opti's side. He's also got that gang saw in queue. Let's have a look and see.
Coming down. Remember, he's like pretty much 2 manas up because of the wood treasures.
Yeah, really good call. He's got 6 manas down now, so a heap of manas. So a lot of extra vills. Definitely feels really good. Kaiserklein now opting for that second trade post as well. So are we going to see 700 wood coming in as the first card for Kaiserklein? That's my suspicion. It is indeed 700 wood. So with this, going to be able to take the entire trade route, going to be able to get that stagecoach in. I suspect we'll probably see him get up stagecoach with this 400 wood that he aged up with.
Yeah. I like that first choice of trading post as well. Like it's kind of the one closest to his town center, so it's easiest to defend if that becomes a thing. I do wonder, is he going to build the entire trade route with that wood? It's certainly an option to him. But barracks coming down, so
and steel traps, and I suspect probably a house is going to be going down as well. Any second now, because he's got 101 wood in the bank. There's that house right there. Over chopping by 1 wood. I didn't expect it from Kaiserklein, but there you go.
He might as well just resign right now.
Yeah,
1 wood.
look, I thought he was perfect, but it turns out he's not. But now that 700 wood coming in as well, so I suspect we're probably going to be taking the entire trading line. But we do have Optibb putting down this racks quite close to the trade post site, second trade post site from the north, and the outpost wagon moving towards the middle of the map. I wonder where this outpost wagon's going. Where are you going? Oh, he's going right there. Right. Potentially going to get sieged by the Explorer. Explorer just noticing it for Kaiserklein, I suspect.
So is Kaiser heading? Is he heading to the bottom for it? Like maybe he's just going to build houses here and start massing units. Have 2 trading posts. Make no stagecoaches coming in.
He's got stagecoach and now taking that 3rd trading post. Also got the musketeers in queue, so I've got 5 muskets. He did scout the wagon here, so curious if he's going to be able to head over here. But where's the out? Oh no. The outpost is right here, but he doesn't see it. He literally just walks past it. It was right there. The line of sight was literally... If these musketeers had +1 line of sight, he would have spotted it. But I can't believe that. That's gonna hurt.
That's a narrow escape.
I think that's gonna hurt. That's gonna give Optimus a lot of potential. And so now losing a villager, not sure what this villager was doing or where it was going, but it's 5 minutes 52, so he should be expecting that there's gonna be a bit of aggression now heading out onto the map. It also looked like Optibb is kind of sitting there, wants to put down a trading post. His Explorer is hovering around that trading post soccer. He's got to be really careful, Optimus. Be careful, my friend. Those trading posts are black holes. They will get you. But now 10 musketeers coming out for Kaiserklein. 3rd trading post up. He's got that 600 wood in. The stagecoach has finished changing all of his trading posts over to wood. So going to be having a nice lot of income now.
2nd rank's coming down as well, and then the unit pump.
Yeah, then it begins, doesn't it? So maybe transitioning into crossbows potentially with 600 wood. I suspect that I would have thought they would have had enough wood without
right in the middle musket war.
The classic musket
Looks like though Optibb's neither player wanting to commit to that, just a volley fired. Optibb, I think, has sort of more to play for in terms of defense. Doesn't really want to commit to a fight there when, you know, he has all of those villages from the manor houses. But he's going to be thinking, I need to do something. Yeah, you can see that trading post going down in the center of the map. He can see that Kaiser already has 3. So he can't just sit here all day. I like the choice to pick up one of the TPs himself, just sort of. He will benefit a bit from that stagecoach. So it's almost as if Kaiser really only has 3 if you take into account that Optibb's one is cancelling out one of Kaiserklein's other ones. Coming in, can he get that Explorer down? No, Kaiser on the ball there, going to move back, starting to siege that, gets 1 volley in, sees the muskets coming forward, doesn't want to stay there, doesn't want to lose anything, going to try and snipe that Explorer. If he can get that down, that'd be, no, it does go up. So Kaiser going to have a very nice stagecoach here. And that's going to keep his eco sort of up with the British here. This is what you do if you France, Civ, that doesn't really have any ways or many ways to sort of actively commit to a boom, but this is one of them on a map like High Plains where there's lots of trading posts. You can do that, and you can keep up with British, and that's what he's going to be trying to do.
Yeah, I think it was a great choice by him to elect for this map. It's definitely one of the more favorable maps for France.
Central Plain, pardon me.
Yes, Central Plains definitely having quite a lot, and Optibb now saying, well, hold on, I need to use this this outpost that I've got right here because Kaiserklein's just been really avoiding it, and really trying to. I think he needs to work an angle, so maybe even come in and try and siege these barracks from this position. They're not within tower range. He'll be able to siege that quite freely. The crossbowmen are going to be able to keep him back without really getting in there, but now quite a significant mass of crossbowmen building up, popping out. The first crossbowman getting picked off, but Kaiserklein being very careful to micro. Definitely got the advantage here when it comes to the military size. But I suspect we're probably going to be having some hussars coming in from Optibb BB. So he does have that stable that's up. So we've got the 5 hussars in. So a little bit of micro definitely here.
And that'll be really helpful against sort of some of the crossbowmen in a way. And sort of if he can keep a fight near this outpost, that's kind of helpful. Though I think Kaiser has the more units, so I guess he's trying to distract him. Like keep Kaiser following him away from the outpost. It doesn't go down until Optibb can get enough units in to sort of commit to a fight here. But there's a lot of blue oh boy, crossbows on the wrong side there. They see the cavalry, and they're not going to spend waste any more time trying to get away from them. Moving back to the safety of the muskets there.
Yeah, almost getting caught out of position, but being very, very lucky. No snare getting off from the hussars that were coming in, but 3 hussars now, remaining 2 now. But Kaiserklein shipping in some hussars of himself, or of his own, rather. And definitely just taking... I would say he'd be taking the victory from that fight. He didn't lose his mass of crossbows. Still got 10 crossbows, so significant mass. Still got 26 musketeers. Those 3 hussars now coming in on the back line. And we've got opting for a raid. Gosh, I tell you what, those 2 words will get me a lot.
Say that 5 times first.
Yeah. So Kaiser definitely winning that fight. I would say almost convincingly and in a great position. Having these 4 trading posts, I would say that he's got the advantage at the moment. He's got the 25 corridor bars. He does have the steel traps on those guys. He's got placer mines.
All the idols at the moment, though. I think they've just gone that. He'll figure it out there. Oh, catching some muskets here. I liked what Opti did earlier. He sort of came in with those 5 cav, but then he saw some more muskets coming forward and thought, no, I better get out of here. So I think, yeah, Opti not throwing away his units. That's what I like.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you. He's lost a fair bit up here, but at the same time, as you mentioned, he's sort of retreated somewhat. Wasn't really able to get the catch on the crossbows, despite it looking pretty good. But now we've got the outpost being targeted down by Kaiserklein. I think he's going to put an end to the line of sight that's been raining upon his base with this outpost, just really giving a whole bunch of line of sight and just putting out constant damage as units walk past here. But a decent mass right now of musketeers is starting to build. Got 29 muskets as well as the 10 crossbows, but the first trading post is now going to get sieged down by Opti.
Yep, nicely done.
Curious
Can he build it himself?
Yeah,
this is Explorer.
It's Explorer's
dead. It's over there. Not quite. I feel like Kaiser is in the lead in terms of like military and what we've seen on the map so far. But Opti managing to keep that score pretty high. The power of the manor houses.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it, isn't it? It's definitely the manor houses for the British that are probably keeping it up there, but we've got some longbows coming in now. Going to be able to push back the units for Kaiserklein, but look, if someone was going to ask me which player would you prefer to be in this position, I would have to say Kaiserklein. I think that he's definitely got a bit of an advantage, but quite decent mass as well for Opti as well. The hussars in particular. Ready? He's got 12 hussars out now.
Yeah.
He's got cavalry hit points that he can send from the home city. If he can get a tiny attack,
whatever it is coming next, right?
Yeah,
like he's got enough units now where you're at the point in the game where an upgrade really makes there's not really much choice. But either way, that's exactly what you want. You've got a big mass of units, and when the upgrade gets in, it's going to improve all of them, and they'll feel like a big power spike.
Yeah, so
good time for it. And that's what it is, musket. So.
No, he's cancelled it, and he's gone cav hit points as we suspected. So. Yeah, definitely the right choice. I would say cav hit points here is going to be quite strong, giving it a nice, what is it? Is it 15%? 15% hit points, so an extra 47, 48 health, so fair amount of health. But the musketeer mass is building for Kaiserklein. I'm curious to see, is he up yet? He is up. He's up with the exiled prince as well, so still got those musketeers in queue. I'm going to be curious to see whether he can hold. Optibb definitely being able to push right here, identify this timing, and take advantage of it, really not mucking around. The musketeer mass is beginning to dwindle. The reinforcing batch just came out, but despite that, there's only 28 muskets on the field, 16 crossbows, so it's going to be enough to hold off the army from pushing in and doing any real damage. We might see some infrastructure going down. It's not really going to phase Kaiserklein too much because he does have these trading posts that are still up right now. We've got the dead explorer from Opti that's yet to build this trading post that's got an open socket right now. How are you feeling about this game so far?
Well, the onus is on Kaiser, right? He's now up to Fortress Age. That's what he spent his resources investing in, and we can clearly see Opti's been able to push in as a result of that. So I'm excited. Let's see Falconets. I mean, that we saw that coming, but yeah, can Kaiser sort of hold against this? Because I think if he can get that out and not lose that other barracks and not lose his units here, he's up to the next stage. He still has a decent number of stagecoach TPs. This is, I think, like a really important moment in the game.
Yeah, this is definitely pivotal. The veteran upgrades coming in for the musketeers as well, but it's 100% pivotal because we've got the 2 falconets that are coming in. They've got about 40% left before they're in, and Kaiserklein really just needs to make sure his muskets survive. If these musketeers die, he's going to be left with absolutely nothing left. But the main issue that he's going to have... Where are they going to
spawn? Like, exactly. The Falcons have to come near the TC, right? Like, he hasn't got another spawn point, so he has to keep them alive, but he also has to keep them near the TC. And those two things, look, he's trying to do that. He's trying to go down the middle. Okay, cannons have come out, but look at those hussars. They're coming moving forward. Core Minutemen, I don't know if he still has them. Is he going to get on top just in time? He's trying to walk the muskets over. Nice job there. And the Falcons are now on the other side of the muskets, and the muskets are in hand combat. That was really well controlled. Like, I am surprised he managed to keep them as healthy as he did. Now one just going down. I think actually both of them going down. But, you know, getting the most out of those two Falconers, I think. And killing off, what is that, all of the cavalry? So now just those muskets left here. And, you know, he's in the fortress age. Shipments nearly ready. No cav to worry about. And then skirmishers, get them out. They handle muskets pretty well. I think Kaiser's managed to hold.
I think he has as well. He's got a lot of idols at the moment, so if Opti keeps pumping units into his base, he's going to be in a difficult spot, and that's exactly what we see. We see more units now streaming across the map. We've got 8 musketeers for Opti. He's got 42 villages. Everybody is on food and coin, so he's just going to be focusing completely on getting hussars and probably muskets out after this next batch. Also shipping his musket combat, but I think you're 100% right. Kaiserklein is held. He's managed to get to the fortress age, but the question is going to be whether Opti's going to be able to overwhelm him with his more powerful units in the age 2 up against those veteran units of Kaiserklein.
Yeah, well, they are more powerful units. You're right. But the veteran upgrades just kind of like make up for that very quickly. And, you know, skirmishers have a lot of range, and there they are. They're coming now. Like, I think Kaiser's where he wants to be. You're playing France against a civ that specializes in muskets. He's got some skirmishers out. I think this is it. And his economy is intact. He's still got those trading posts. This is looking okay for Kaiser.
Yeah, and one of the things that was mentioned earlier was how much wood he had in the bank, and that he didn't really care, you know, like, okay, he's losing infrastructure at the front, but he can replace it. But now we've got a town center that's going down. So he's reached the second age, and he's putting down a town center immediately. Just really having excess wood that he doesn't really need to worry about. Now moving his trading post over to coin, he's got that much wood, so he's not too worried. Plenty of population space as well, so starting to build it up. He doesn't have any mercenaries in deck, so he's not really, you know, beelining towards those. But obviously, with the steel traps, it means he's going to be able to collect food a lot faster than he's going to be able to collect coin.
Yeah, what do you think of the town center? I mean, now that it gives 100 XP, it's less prohibitive than it was before, which is kind of interesting in 1v1. There was back when I used to cast regularly, town centers were an oddity, but now they're sort of used a bit more, which I think is kind of interesting.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I remember playing many 1v1s, and you would see both players playing until 25, 30 minutes and not building a second town center. But now it's one of those things where it can buy you a little bit of tempo. At this point, it's going to be 600 XP before Kaiser's next shipment, but you can reduce that down. It's definitely something that feels a lot better. We've got a classic give you anxiety raid coming in here. Just a few musketeers picking off the villagers, being pesky. But these...
You did get a vill.
Yeah, these...
Speaking of villages, should we take a look at their village accounts at this point in the game? I think that TC needs to go. Is he going to build it with the CDVs? Yeah, but it's going up pretty quick. Thankfully, though, you can build them with the Carrera. Like, you couldn't do that before.
No.
And this TC will... And that's another reason why they're perhaps safer as well. Going to get them inside. Lots of Dragoons. He's got some skirmishers now. This is starting to look like sort of a scary army.
Yeah.
Sorry, once this fight's over, I'd like to see what their village accounts are at. That's usually a good indicator.
We can do it right now because the fight is over. So we've got 46 villages for Opti. Now, he's only sitting on 130 mana population at the moment, so not particularly high. And then we've got Kaiserklein with the 2 TCs, just building up his second Kura straight away, sitting on 33 villages. But keep in mind, those villages are much stronger than the villages of the British.
Yeah, he's got 41 and a quarter. Finally got to use Interjection's calculator again. That's a phrase we've not had since perhaps 2015. But because of the AZUI having it all baked in. So kind of similar. And then when you factor in the 2 trading posts, he's got an extra trading post over his opponent there.
Yeah.
And more scaling potential because of the TC. And perhaps techier units. Minutemen coming out.
I would definitely say at this point, he's definitely in prime position. This is exactly where he wants to be. He's got his skirm goon composition. He's very, very comfortable at this point. He's going to be doing a cav switch soon, I'm sure. We'll probably see the cuirassiers coming in. Undoubtedly going to be shipping cav combat as his next card, and then really hitting with that timing. May even see the three cuirassiers come in, yeah, I suspect that we're going to be seeing a cav timing coming in to finish this one off. But Opti not looking like he wants to get up to the third age at all. Really just committing to age 2. Now doing a bit of raiding with his Minutemen as well. So these Minutemen were called by Kaiserklein from this town center down towards the south when Optibb was pushing in. But they spawned on the wrong side, and Optibb had kind of run away at that point, so it was almost a bit of a waste of resources, but at least Kaiser's picking up a couple of gains right here with the settlers. But now,
and, I mean, they're only going to go down to 1 HP anyway, and that's something you can't do as the US. They don't actually do very well against settlers.
No, they don't. That's something
rightfully so, given that you can call them an H1.
Yeah, that's a really good point. They do have that negative multiplier against the settler. It's a 0.25 bonus, so it takes 4 times as many shots. But now we've got the skirmishers just sort of standing and shooting and just really fighting toe to toe with the musketeers. We've got Juan Baudin, or Jean Baudin.
Here we go. Optibb's going to try and jam his cav in there, but there's not a lot of room. He's got this sort of little choke in between the town center and the Shaolin settlement there. Those cav going to have a hard time trying to get on top. Those muskets charging in melee combat as well. A few CDBs going to be able to tank some getting in the TC there. Kaiser doing a really good job just sort of kiting away, shoot and run. And this is exactly sort of what he needs to do, and that sort of hole that Optibb was sort of squeezing in between those two choke points there has made it very hard for him to get on top of those units here. And look at him just picking off longbows, and those units still in the back there. Okay, here comes the cavalry. They're going to give it a sort of attempt number 2. He's moved his dragoons away. Is this sort of almost a base? He's like saying, the goons are gone. It makes you feel a bit more nope, they're back! And there's trees here as well. Look at all those husks going down. And he finally connects and catches a snare. But I feel at this point, like there's lots of dragoons. He's going to be out, and most of the cav are sort of dwindled away. And there's really not much range infantry, firing support fire into this. Has managed to sort of break away. Is trying to sort of pull the skirms with the goons. That is definitely a Kaiser thing to do. Just trying to sort of kite back here. And I think overall the skirmisher mass is dwindling, but Kaiser coming out on top, and the score lead's starting to show that as well.
And Optibb calling GG at that point, obviously being dealt a fatal blow with that very toxic pull tricking right there. So it's game 3 going over to Kaiserklein. How'd you feel about that game? It was a pretty.
It was pretty even, and it was kind of interesting. Like trying to keep up with Brits. Like I feel like when I play French, I'm often trying to either do some kind of semi-FF and beat them with pressure, or do it early on. But no, we see here Kaiser, and I think it's kind of easier on a map like High Plains to grab all those trading posts and sort of keep up. But that's kind of what he did. I'm curious to see resources gathered. He just tried to brute force his eco at the same pace as British, snuck up to the Fortress Age with the exiled prince, and then just sort of managed to get out those stronger units. So yeah, I really like sort of how he played that there, and it feels like a Kaiserklein sort of style. Is sort of very flexible. You've got this economy, you're not committed to one thing one way or the other. Just feels like Kaiserklein to me, and it worked out really, really well. Nice map for it too, High Plains with all of the trading posts.
Yeah, I think that was definitely the right choice. This is actually one of the maps that I see. I've seen Samwise use this as a go-to and do this exact same thing. So, go onto Central Plains or High Plains as it used to be known, and then picking the French and just taking all the trade posts. It's an incredibly strong strategy. It's I guess maybe what civilizations do you think could potentially rival this kind of strategy? Maybe like a Spain taking the ATP. What do you think?
I think Spain ATP. I think Port ATP. I think anything with trading posts on this map is going to be effective.
All right, well, let's dive into the 4th game of the series. Kaiserklein is currently up 2-1. He's not going to be able to play France. Let's have a look and see what the matchup might be.
All right. Going into game number 4.
Let's do it.
The score is 2-1. Ladies and gentlemen, what will the map be? I assume this is Optibb's choice.
This is indeed Optibb's choice.
Borneo.
You're close.
Or is it Malaysia?
It's Malaysia.
All right. No, it is Malaysia indeed. All right, with the 2 pawns there. Let's take a look at what their explorers do. But spawning in the south of the map in the color blue, we do indeed have Optibb. Placing a manor house. Explorer does come across a coin treasure, and going to go for that right away there. Take the crack shot and grab himself 50 coin. His opponent, Kaiserklein. Spawning on the top of the map in the color red, also going to throw down that manor nice and quickly. Neither player looking to do anything perhaps a bit unusual, get that trading post, perhaps something with Virginia Company. Just seeing opening with a manor there and sort of looking for some treasure. Something to point out and that we will keep a close eye on early on. Okay, market coming down. We'll come back to that in a moment. Is the yaks? There's lots of animals, livestock on this map, and water buffalo out. I think of all of the all livestock animals, or the ones that fatten quickest. If you look in the proto data, so these animals in particular they fatten very quickly, and getting as many as you can is going to be key. British only the one scout, so not the fastest at gathering up livestock. Actually, I think correction. They fatten faster on a livestock pen. Anyway, it's not important. They're still livestock, and they're still things you're going to want to be getting. We'll keep an eye on who gets the most. That's going to be sort of a key indicator of sort of who wins, quotation marks, age 1. 90 food for Optibb. Pretty good treasure. Let's see if he can get it without his opponent. His opponent's not nearby, so I think he's got a good chance of taking this. But it is kind of a sort of risky treasure. You don't know where your opponent is, but then it's always hard to know as British.
Yeah,
you don't have any.
Kaiserklein walking back to his base, escorting the water buffalo all the way back, very curiously. So he hasn't really done too much with his explorer, and not using his water buffalo. One of the things we have seen players do is exploring with their water buffaloes behind their base. It's somewhat a safe move to do, especially on this map. Your opponent's explorer is going to be taking quite a while before they get over to that part of the map. But Kaiserklein definitely just sort of taking a step back at the moment. In this British mirror. On the other hand, we've got Optibb, who has picked up the 90 food and taking the water buffalo. He's now up to, how many water buffaloes does he have? I think that's his first water buffalo that he's picked up.
Yes, we've got no way to immediately sort of check, but once the players are aging up, we'll be able to tell, because all those cows will be home safe and sound in time for dinner, and we can sort of count them there, I suppose. But yeah, that food, I wonder then if Optibb, should we take a look at his base? Do you think he'll eat some of these yaks? He got that 90 food. Maybe he'll like try and sneak up a villager early. He's not got another one in queue. He's on the 700 food. He's not queuing another one. I think he's aiming to go up here.
I think you might be right.
Is that one earlier? Maybe it's not even.
No. Well, I mean, it's one early, but I think the meta is definitely trending towards these earlier age ups. So it's one early, but I think one early is becoming just almost the standard wherever possible. But I love what Optibb's doing right here with his water buffalo. So he walked this water buffalo up. He caught it in the middle of the map. He walked it north. Look at all the scouting he's managed to do with this water buffalo. Especially when you uncover, say, a trading post or a treasure, you're going to be able to spot a whole lot more line of sight, because the line of sight on these bad boys is quite small, but it definitely, it's a static amount when you do unlock or when you do uncover that region. So if we go take a look compared to Kaiserklein and see where he's at, Kaiserklein's barely uncovered anything compared to Optibb with the water buffalo play. So really nice play.
Yeah, and I guess it's kind of safer against British to sort of scout with those units, because you're less likely to run into a secondary scout that might steal your buffalo. Should we compare their age times?
Yeah, so we've got both players going up with the governor, and Kaiserklein going up a little bit later. So 16 villager, 20 mana population, and 15 villager, 20 mana population. Now popping up.
He is a whole 25 seconds ahead or something like that. Certainly a bit. Yeah, you can see the difference there.
Yeah, you really can see the difference.
That's kind of what, like, in these mirror matchups, especially the Brit mirror, which is it's often just like dumping an outpost in the middle of the map. Yeah, you can see a manor house going down here. You're going to use that to build a barracks and just sort of like taking the map right away, getting muskets out. You're always going to be slightly ahead on the musket count, and that's like especially in the Brit mirror, that is good. That is powerful.
That is exactly it. It is, the fact that you're up that 25 seconds earlier, and that's exactly right. What you identified is that you're always going to be ahead on the musket count because you got up earlier, so your barracks is down sooner, so your first batch is out sooner, and so you've always got more units. If your opponent's pushing in, you're always going to be up one batch, potentially even up two batches. If you've got the defender's advantage. So really, really strong point. I'm curious to see what their decks are. We've now got Optibb reaching the second age. He's sending 700 wood as his first card, dropping down a forward racks over here on the north side of the map. Kaiserklein does spot this. Look how early it's going up. Kaiserklein hasn't even aged up yet, and this barracks has already reached the second phase of construction.
It is as well. Yeah. He's just like, hey, I'm going up fast. I'm going to drop this here. I'm going to be right in your face, and my outpost is going to be on top of it as well. So it's kind of just going to be there the whole game because there's not really a lot you can do. And in response, Kaiserklein's like, well, I got to put my outpost there now because he's going to put his outpost over there. And if I don't, well then, yeah. But that barracks isn't central. It's kind of up near the top, near the water, and the outpost there is going to be really effective. But the barracks, however, it's not taking map control in the middle, and it is going to sort of limit in a way that Opti could have like seized a lot more map if it was a bit more central, but not electing to do that. So Kaiserklein is still going to have the bottom to sort of work with, but going to be sieging. Let's take a look at what was happening right now. Both just sieging the outpost. They want to get as much damage as they can on there. Ultimately, I don't think it will matter. No one's going to be sieging these outposts down, but it will force the other player to repair it.
Yeah, I'm curious to see the decks. I would suspect Kaiserklein may have gone for a water deck just because of the position of Opti's outpost here. I want to have a look and we'll see. Let's have a look. He hasn't. Okay, so he's just opted for a 1v1 New England deck. So having the two caravels as well as the frigate.
Oh, you mean water is in the sense that there's a big commit to it?
Yeah, maybe at least a schooner's card. I'll say that much. That's what I was thinking.
Or maybe a fishing upgrade or something.
Yeah.
No, just the bare bones to a couple of boats. Yeah. And
it's
what's that? Is that manners? That has to be manners.
Those are manners that are going up. Those are not outposts. But yes, and the same thing for Opti. So Opti's got the Pioneers card in his deck. So this is definitely a card that's been seeing a little bit of play in British mirrors in particular. And I think that's exactly what it's called. It's called Mirror Water. And I understand the reason why is because the British mirror really comes down to hunts and the way that the hunts are put over the map. And if you've got villages that are sort of out on the outskirts of the map, they're going to be getting a lot more, they're going to be attacked a lot more. It's rare that the mirrors leave Age 2. They will sort of stay in Age 2 for, 20, 22 minutes, that sort of thing. And as a result, by including Pioneers in the deck, it means that your villages are going to be able to stay alive a lot longer. You're going to lose less villages. We see that great coats coming out. I can already hear Harrison in the chat being very excited. But we've got 9 water buffaloes for Opti BB.
Harrison's everywhere.
Yeah, definitely. But 9 water buffaloes right here that are fattening up, or 7 that are fattening. I think there must be 2.
I think he got the most. I think he got even more coming in. That's a really powerful large stock pen. Like at some point, just gonna eat those, and that in itself is gonna get him ahead.
Yeah.
God, I remember, you're saying about Pioneers, absolutely. Like that's gonna be sort of that extra upgrade in a way. And if it comes down to it, and the hunts are gone, you chuck your vills in there. That's gonna be really helpful as well. I remember when, believe it or not, Advanced Plantation, Advanced Estates, or whatever it is now, was a sort of a key card in the British deck, or at least Gaji used to think so. Anyway, things have moved on since then. But having said that, it might not be all about this Age 2. Certainly that tends to what happened. But I don't know if you're familiar with when we casted the New World Championship. I think we had Lord Raphael and Diaruga. There was some Fortress Age British stuff happening, and players sneaking up in Brit mirrors, getting falconets out. So that kind of thing is possible here. A fight happening. A couple of longbows trying to take them down. They've got less hit points. They do more damage. Going to focus them first. Nice choice from Opti.
Yeah, definitely the right choice in focusing down those longbows. We can take a look at Kaiser, see where he's at. He's got a mix of units that he's making at the moment. So not just shipping them from the home city, he's actually making them, opting to go for the 600 wood first instead of the 5 villages. Now shipping in the 6 longbows, so potentially committing to an early game mass here. It's interesting that he's actually making longbows and shipping longbows as well, because one of the things that we typically see in Brit mirrors is essentially just muskets. Just muskets. The entire game, just muskets. Like, as you mentioned a little bit earlier, you said about the falconets, when they eventually reach Age 3, then it's muskets and falconets. But, for most of the rest of the game, it's pretty much just muskets. So
yeah, I mean, it's okay. Like, longbows are good against muskets, so you'd think, well, why wouldn't you train them? But the trouble is there is like muskets. Also, you just have more upgrades for muskets. Muskets get stronger in Age 2. You got those 2 cards. So longbows, I think, you just have to mix a tiny number of them in and stuff. But yeah, ultimately, lots of musketeers.
Yeah. So I guess at this point, now that Kaiser's sent in that 600 wood as well, he doesn't really have any option to sort of transition to water. On this map in particular, I'm always looking at water, and keeping in mind that in the most recent game, Kaiserklein was the victor, so Opti's picked this map. I wonder if his plan to go into this map was really just to say, I'm going to pick a mirror, and I'm just going to take water buffalo, and I'm really going to find it, because with the mirror, as I mentioned earlier, it comes down to food. In I think about probably 80% of the games, it's going to come down to food and who's got the most food. And by taking those water buffalo earlier, sticking them on a fattening pen or a livestock pen, they're going to fatten up extra quick, and he's going to have those extra resources over Kaiserklein. with the
like he has
exception
a
of the
win
water.
condition, right? Like you think everything else equal in this British mirror. Although it looks like Kaiser has seemingly got more military and is taken already that tower, and it looks like he might get this barracks as well. So actually, Kaiser somehow eked out a decent advantage, it would seem. But I was going to say, yeah, those buffaloes are almost like a win condition, because at some point they'll fatten fully, and then you'll get a big burst of units and can perhaps sort of power out the game here. But look at this. How did Kaiser get here?
I think Kaiser might have shipped units from the home city. So yeah, he's sent 6 longbows from the home city. I think that's really what it is. He's got a massive amount of units. You're not wrong. He's got basically an additional 13 longbows. We've got the 25 muskets, and then we've got 21 muskets from Optibb. But then on top of that, he's just got all these longbows. So you're not wrong. Opti actually up in score, up about 500 in score, despite losing that outpost and losing that barracks. Still up in score at the moment.
So he's still got the buffalo, like that's going to kick in at some point, and he's going to have a huge sort of eco boost. What are they? How are they doing on villages here? Because Kaiser spent, he managed to get all those military units out, sure, but at the sacrifice of economy. Yeah, look at this: 46 villager population from Optibb.
And 36.
Kaiser, right? 36. Yeah. So, you know, this push has to count. He's invested big time, and he skipped the manors. He's just gone for resources. He thought, okay, I've got to really break that outpost somehow that's like just sat there denying me map control, and he's done it. Well done. But now, let's see, pushing out with these units, he's going to have to try and, like he's on the clock.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly it. I think he's identified, wait a minute, I lost a lot of yaks here. He hasn't seen the fattening pen in the base of Optibb, but he would know he's on the clock. And now we've got a bit of a fight breaking out. The Musketeers managing to take out, pushing up. Now these Musketeers have been upgraded from the home city. He's got both of the upgrade cards. The second one coming in behind this for the health. He's not going to wait for it though. Just opting to take the fight with Optibb right now. Optibb on the back line, also shipping in his health as well. Now these muskets that he's got are equally as upgraded, but we've got Minutemen coming out as well, down to 60 HP. So these Minutemen had to do a little bit of a walk. Perhaps they got lost behind the town center. But now being able to push back, he does have the defender's advantage with this barracks. Reinforcements now coming in, down to 10 musketeers on the front line. We've got those 5 militiamen that remain, but the mass of longbows remains. We've got 10 longbows that sit here, but has it been enough? He's got 21 muskets, a bunch that are reinforcing at the moment, but it doesn't feel like it's enough. He was able to hold Opti, and now he's got the yaks out. Now the yaks are fully fattened, and
here we go.
This is where the racing car goes vroom, 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 because he is going to be going incredibly fast. I reckon he just drops down a third barracks at this point.
Yeah, I think you need another barracks here. Or stable, yeah, that works too.
Yeah, and there we go, the stable, yeah, dropping down. And at this point, we just watch him just go to the moon, essentially. It's going to be yaks to the moon from here. Yeah, Kaiserklein score pulling ahead now, so up 1,000.
Yeah, like he did take
points.
A good trade when he was fighting against all of those muskets on that barracks. It just felt like he had more units there the whole time.
Yeah.
But Opti not wanting to lose that barracks, so sort of pulling ahead in score. But now with all those yaks coming in, I think we might see that sort of that comeback a bit. Taking out a manor house there, which is going to get him some XP. Taking out a villager there, evening out that count a bit.
Yeah, well, one of the things to note is that despite Kaiser being down 10 villagers, he's actually able to bring that back in. He did send the 5 villagers from the home city, and he's managed to equal out villager population with the manors. So
finished out his mana boom.
They're both sitting on 50 villagers at the moment. So Kaiserklein and Optibb very equal on economy. The primary difference, though, is Opti's got these yaks, and he's also sending in his unit shipment, so I can feel a timing coming on right now.
I like how Kaiser played it. Like it's just played so cool. Like he just played it chill. He knew what he needed to do, and that was not focus on the mana boom, get those units out, take down that barracks and that outpost, and that's what he did. Big fight in the middle of the map. Compare the muskets, 172 and 26. So both fully upgraded here. Both got those in. The difference is there are more red muskets and some longbows mixed in.
But we do have the Hussar that are now moving towards the north of the map, so could potentially pick up a raid here. It's going to get spotted out by the outpost, and Opti should know that. He did know about this outpost before he moved in here because it was sitting right outside his barracks and he was sieging it down in the early game with his villagers. So curious that he just sent his Hussar up there. Maybe just sending the Hussars up there to force the army of Kaiserklein back and say, hey, you know, come on, chase me. He's buying time because he knows that his yaks are really going to power him through, going to give him all of that. And if he can force Kaiserklein, he's definitely looking like, oh, he's running around finding a massive amount of villagers here. Looking like James Jackman trying to get the snare. Is he going to get it? Try and slow down. Come on, James. James, get it together. Just do it, James. Hit him.
You can do it, James.
Hit him.
Nah,
James, what are you doing? Oh, James has gone down. Oh, James, you just needed one swing of that little sword and you would have slowed down those muskets.
This is a fight, though. Like, this is where it's happening. Like, Optibb, like, it's kind of hard to escape here. Like, the trees are blocking most, like, there's only one choke you can go through. Like, I think something's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think Optibb's in a good position. We've got the militiamen that are moving in melee. Definitely got their eyes locked on to the muskets of Optibb. Optibb doesn't have enough dragoons to pull trick his muskets away. But
I'm not actually sure Minutemen snare. I don't think they do.
Definitely looked like that one got snared. He's got 2.6 movement speed, but the Explorer now on top of it as well. James Jackman being brought back from the town center and getting out here on top of the muskets. It looks like...
He's caught them. Like, he's just sort of taken them all out. Like, there's nowhere he can go. He's walking up towards Kaiser's base. This is it for these muskets.
Yeah, I think that's it for the muskets, definitely. The muskets getting caught, but at the same time, we've got a whole bunch of units. Wow, look at all the units from Optibb. Holy moly, where did these come from?
Yaks, man.
Oh, the yaks. We forgot about the yaks. Look at the units streaming in across the map right now. He's got 40 muskets. If he just keeps these alive, he's going to be able to circle around and actually pull this out. Look at... We've got longbows here. If he spots these longbows, they're just going to get easily taken out. Kaiserklein buying back the Explorer again, just really trying to do it.
We're taking a good fight near the town center. We're taking a poor one up near the top there. He needs to get these units in the same group. And then it will work so well. Wait, there's so many. There's even more by the... Look at them coming across the map. And with some next to the barracks as well. I don't think Optibb cares. He's just like... Those yaks have just fueled this never-ending stream of military units coming out of his base. And his food count is still... Like, I think he needs 5 barrackses.
Yeah, you're not wrong. There are just so many units coming in right now. It's absolutely crazy. Kaiserklein idling right now. 42 villagers in the town center. Boy. Yeah. That does not feel good, especially when your opponent's sitting on yaks and they are just pumping in. So all the yaks have finished now, but I tell you what, you can see the difference. You can really see the difference.
Because Kaiserklein's back on resources and Optibb's he's moving out. So it looks like Kaiserklein's going to get villagers back to work. They are gathering. I'm not sure coin is going to be the most useful thing. He's going to need food. That's certainly running out. Like, what do you do here? Like, can you take a look for the hunts? There's a fight about to happen, but I guess, like, that's it. That's the only hunt left. Okay, let's see who wins this. I think it could be really even. And it needs to be if Kaiser's going to stay in this game. Do you just slap... Oh, no, but there's Hussars over there, and that's going to be the end of it. And it looks like Optibb going to pick up a win.
Incredibly. Like, I'm just so amazed at how those yaks were able to swing that game around. I was really worried. I'm like, well, hold on a minute. You know, they say that no one puts Optibb in the corner, but it definitely looked like Kaiserklein was putting Optibb in the corner. And, you know, he got the snare onto the muskets. It looked like they were going down. And then all of a sudden, we saw in Kaiserklein's base, millions of units.
That's why he wasn't trying to escape. He knew what he had coming.
You're definitely right with that one. What I want to see is I want to see the food graph. Get ready. You're going to watch this thing just rocket off. Oh my God, look at that thing. God.
That's a water buffalo line. That's what we're going to call it now, right?
We got to call it that. That's how
that works.
It's amazing. And what I also want to see is all resources gathered. Kaiserklein was idle for a really long time. Let's have a look and see how idle he was. You can just, about 12 minutes, it just really flattens out. He goes from 16,000 up to 17,000 over the course of 2 minutes, and then finally in that last minute, barely getting up an extra 600 resources. Very, very idle.
And that is the game. It was getting to a point, though, where... Have you seen those games where, like, you get through all of this, maybe the yaks are a bit more even, and then, like, all the foods run out, and then both players are like, well, okay, now what? Do I go up? Like, do I jam my vills into a fight? Like that's just a facet of British as well, because you don't really have that option to age quickly. It's not super flexible, and it's kind of dangerous to go up. So you do see these... It's just how British mirrors sort of play out sometimes. But still, as far as British mirrors go, the yaks were pretty exciting, and we got to see a big burst of units. What is coming up next? Because this series is shaping up, right? 2-2? Is that right?
You are correct.
Yeah,
That's 2-2
on your screen. You got to update your scoreboard.
Let me fix that right up. There we go. We've fixed that up now. Thank you very much for reminding me.
And we can speculate perhaps what's coming. So I think I know. Well, at some point, Kaiserklein's going to pull out the Germans.
Yes, he's got to pull out the Germans.
And that's a civ that's got a pretty high win rate as well. So, like, it's a good civ, and Kaiserklein's very powerful.
Well, what map is going to be best for Germans? Because he's going to want to pick.
He gets to pick as well, doesn't he? That's a really good point. Like Kamchatka, you just want like an in-base trading post that you don't have to like worry about too much, or something like that.
Yeah, that
no livestock to bully. You've only got the one scout if you're playing as Germans. I don't know. That's a puzzle that Kaiserklein will solve, and I'm sure we're about to see the answer too. But I don't know. I'm calling Germany here.
All right, you're going with Germany. All right, I'm just going to make sure I'm in the right folder. So we're a Kaiser versus Optibb. Let's do
the sheep on Kamchatka. Well, it's not very, like, sheep aren't they're not as good as buffalo, are they?
Let's see what he came up with. All
right. Spawning in 2. Probably Kamchatka now. We have no idea. Oh, okay. Arctic territories.
Wow.
Kaiserklein chose this. Oh, and it's Dutch. All right. I guess there's quite low coin on this map, and he's playing Dutch, and he thinks, all right, I'll have the coin advantage.
Indeed.
And the trading rates, it's not really something Dutch needs, so it's a fairly small, curious pick. I'm going to pick up that muskrat treasure there with his villager. But spawning in the south of the map in the color blue, we do indeed have Kaiserklein playing as the Dutch explorer, heading off into the south of the map there, sort of the southeast. What we got, 40 coin, 110 coin, lots of coin. Really nice for Dutch. That's kind of like a food treasure almost. It's going to get him up faster because you won't need to gather as much coin. His opponent.
He's done the math and he's actually worked out. I don't even need to be on coin anymore.
That's a kite, perfect. Absolutely, and now just gather food, get up to the next stage, everything's done. Really, really nice. Lots of coin. And maybe that's also part of the pick. Maybe there's more coin treasures on this map and he just knows that or something. But his opponent, playing as the Indians here, would obviously have seen the map, would have known that it was Arctic territories, would have known he's up against the Dutch. And I assume that's how that works. You get to pick in response.
Yeah, he wouldn't know that he's up against the Dutch. He would just know that the map is Arctic territories. And then
that's all he's got, going in with India. Okay.
Yeah. So, a bold pick. His explorer, his first explorer, is in the middle of the map fighting against a polar bear. I was going to say a Polish bear, but I don't think these bears really have nationality or citizenship yet. So, but unfortunately, the Indian monk does, and the Indian monk is going down with 60 HP. So, quite a bit of HP lost on that Indian monk. Separating the monks, we've also got the second Indian monk over towards the east of the map, and it's doing the exact same thing. So the fact that Opti is splitting up his explorers, I think it's almost punishing him a little bit here, just because these polar bears, you can take these treasures, but you're going to be losing a lot of health. Now, keep in mind, these Indian monks can heal themselves back up, but it's going to take time. And
fast. Okay, but the advantage is that he gets to cover more ground, and he's going to get more wood this way. And wood's, similarly to what Kaiserklein did, he got coin treasures. Wood treasures a bit like food for India, in a way. That's what your villagers cost, but at the expense of a lot of hit points. You're not wrong. But if we tot up the treasures, who do you feel like is winning age 1? And I guess it kind of we have to factor in that. Oh, no, not picking up that 110 coin just yet. We have to factor in the hit points of it too. Going up with the quartermaster.
I've got to say right there, Kaiserklein's winning age 1 because he just got an idleless 2 minute and 10 age up in as the Dutch. And I tell you what, that feels amazing to get that up. That is incredible. I can't believe I turned over to him and he just got the age up queue as the last villager was coming out. So incredible macro right there. So I'd have to say Kaiser's definitely ahead. We also don't see any forward villager coming out from Opti, so potentially opting for that in-base aggro. Let's see if we can spot it. It might be going for a different wonder. So looks like he's going to be going for a Carney Martyr. So I would say like the aggro is probably used in about 95% of Indian games going up to the second age. So this is the 5% that is not used, and we have the Carney instead. So what are you thinking? What are you thinking about this matchup?
I'm thinking Wicked Cossack would be great to have right now. That man knows everything about India, it would seem. But yeah, mostly see the Agrifort. So I mean, really, I can only say the basics. He's clearly looking to play in base with this building. I believe it's 10%. I could be wrong, but gonna have that economy in base. What does it tell us here?
Doesn't give us any percentages. It just tells us that it increases the gathering rate of nearby villagers. So we'll have to click on them once they've aged up and see exactly what it is. But
what's in his deck? Should we take a look at the India deck? Maybe that will tell us a bit more about sort of what he's got in mind.
He's got the foreign logging as well as the diplomatic intrigue, which is going to enable him to ally with the Ottoman consulate, get those extra villages in. Yep. So if he wants to do some sort of semi-fast fortress with economic play, maybe even send 700 wood in and pick up these trading posts, because this trading post down here, it's going to be outside the base of Kaiserklein, and it's not going to be prevented from being built on. It's also a really good trading post map, this map. I believe the trading post collects, I remember hearing 7% as the quoted number. So you get 7% extra resources on the trading posts for this map.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, so apparently somebody did the math and they were like, wait a minute, it's for the time that it takes for the trade post to go from the start to the end, you're getting an extra 7% resources. I don't know. I could be crazy.
I don't know how that's calculated, because like sometimes it feels like if you do the math on a map by map basis, you do get a varying rate. It's not like trading posts are worth exactly 1.15 XP per second on average, no matter what. Like it varies. So I don't doubt that this particular route size is better or something like that. Going for 90 food treasures there, nice. But so I think the main question we need to ask ourselves is, who booms better? Like, Dutch is good at booming. That's what they do. They got banks. They can do it pretty well. They can get up to Fortress Age, and that's nice. India, though, what we got? Karnimata, we've got the 2 trickles, we've got the Ottoman consulate. Like, how do you think that stacks up? Because I'm kind of feeling like Dutch is just, I think has more scaling.
I got to agree with you. I think that one of the things about the Agrifort, and not a lot of people realize this, is that the Agrifort is actually an economic age up, because it buys you all of this map control. You can use it to take the trading line, you can idle your opponent, and you can market tech behind that, you can foreign logging, you can ship diplomatic intrigue, all behind it, and be incredibly safe. And so while Karnimata gives you an extra 10% on your villager gather rates, it is, and that's obviously a very objective economic bonus, the Agrifort definitely does it as well. And I can't help but think that in this position, just applying a little bit of pressure to Kaiserklein, maybe idling him, not necessarily committing to like a big force of sepoy or even, shipping sawars from the home city, but just trying to, put a little bit of hurt on him in the early game probably would have gone quite a long way. Because if he's able to get up to the to the third age, without too much trouble, and he's able to get 5 banks down and hit the fortress age, get 2 Raxes in a stable and start producing units, I don't think Optibb's going to be able to keep up. Even with 3 TP stagecoach, I don't think he's going to be able to keep up. But shipping
we'll have to wait and see if he can keep up. It's worth pointing out that Karnimata is also, it is 10% by the looks of it, but it'll be from regular percent, not the base stats. So it'll compound upgrades, which is nice. But we've got 8 pike coming out. Kaiserklein clearly keeping an eye on the trading post line. He knows there's all 3 of them here, and as a result, actually going to call pikemen, which is usually something you want to avoid as Dutch. You usually feel pretty good if you can not call them and get up. So trading post is going to force a reaction. He needs the siege. He knows that there's a limited window where he can actually take down these trading posts before India will start to have units on the field, and that will start to become sort of a bit more difficult. Does get that first batch of it was XP there, but at least he gets something from it before it goes down, which is going to be good. Civil servants now coming in for India, and by the looks of it, we've got the diplomatic intrigue as well.
Which has now been cancelled. He's cancelled it and he's put in the 700 gold instead. So he's got a stable that's up in his base. So instead of going for a Rax first, he said, I'm going to open with a stable. Probably not anticipating that Kaiserklein would be sending out the 8 pikemen first. This is unconventional. This is not something that I see a lot. I feel like most Dutch players in this position would just, they do their 5 banks and then they just hit Fortress Age and they wouldn't really mind. And then they'd challenge the trading posts in Age 3. But I love that Kaiserklein's just been so on the ball. It was barely, 5 minutes, and he said, all right, we're just going to queue in these pikemen straight away. We're going to start burning down, and because each trading post, once you've got stagecoach, it's worth about, what, 4 villages, 5 villages? It's a decent amount.
It looks like he's setting up to build that trading post himself. Yeah, 200 wood. He's popped it down, and it looks like India really needs to do something. You can't build the stage coach, get all three, and then okay. So Sawar's coming in. Perhaps, I mean, they're not going to do that well against the pikes. So you instead going to make use of them the best he can on the villages. But 4 pikemen going to pop out. There they are. And going to zone them away right away. 1 villager in there, so not too much for the Soas to worry about. Are going to try and get some damage on there. Thankfully, though, Soas have a bit of extra speed compared to other cavalry. So able to get that tiny little poke. Oh, no, don't do that. Soas also have a lot less HP than other cav. That's not ideal. That's not how you use Soas. Oh, they have extra speed to get away from pikemen, not to run into them. Oh, no. That's unfortunate from Opti there, losing those, and now I think he's almost certainly going to lose the trade route. Like he needed that in combination with some Sepoy or whatever, but oh no.
I'm just so impressed with Kaiserklein. He's just got the ability of a clairvoyant. Like he had, for whatever reason, he had pikemen queued up right now, and they literally pop as the Soa are entering the base. It's like it's just. I don't know how he does it. He's on another level. Very impressive. Also taking the trade route for himself now. Also macroing behind this, looking like he's going to be potentially hitting an age up. He doesn't have any 700 coin, but he is gathering a fair amount of coin, obviously having 3 banks down at the moment. Really not committing to a greedy play. I know a lot of lesser players would say, oh, I need to make sure that I've got all my banks up and really maximize my economy. He's saying, you know what? I'm happy with 3 banks. We'll go up with that. And
yeah, and now, I mean, he's got 2 TV stagecoach now. Like, I don't need 5 banks. And town militia, I like that. He was calling it. He's keeping it in queue. I don't think he actually intends to send the shipment at all. I think it's just like there being sent because he's waiting to get up to age 3. But if he just randomly happens to need it because India out of nowhere attacks him with like 25 Sepoy, well, he's prepared. So just going to have it in queue, going to keep cancelling it roughly when it gets to halfway. And then, oh, is he aging slow? Is that what's going on?
Let's have a look and see. He is going up with the exiled prince.
He's going up fast. I thought, okay. Right. Anyway, what does India have? It's not 25 Sepoy. It's a number of Gurkha, some Soas, 5 less Soas than perhaps he would ideally like. But here we are. Let's see if he can get something to happen. Colonial Militia is going to come in.
Yeah, it does look like he's going to confirm it, but still a pretty decent mass of Soas here. He's got to deal with the opponent's pikemen, so having a handful of them, still 9 now, being taken out by the Gurkha. It looks like the Minutemen are going to be getting into the mix, calling the Minutemen from the home city, putting them in melee mode, just getting the snare to happen, and really doing a good job of just making sure that his pikes are trying to stay alive. But the main issue is that they're getting picked off by the Gurkha, and now we've got a bit of a problem because those Indian explorers are going to start stomping around on top of those pikemen, and that's enough Soa that I think that he could probably clean this up if he wanted. But he has reached the 3rd age now. He's got a Hussar in queue, so there's no Reuters in queue at the moment. No shipment either.
That's like there's no hunt nearby. Like Opti's on top of the animals. Like those villagers can't really get anywhere. Going in with the Soas again. No, don't do that. But they are dwindling. Look, he's got a lot of Gurkha, so maybe it's fine actually. Can just kill them all off. Trying like, well, I don't know if he's active. Okay, Hussar's about to pop out of that stable on top of the Gurkha, but only 2 didn't have the eco for it, and also does not have the eco for the CM batch as well. I mean, he could perhaps sell some wood for it and get that, and maybe he'll time it with the Hussars or something. But worth pointing out that is in here. Not too many Soas left though. They are, however, on top of the skirms, which is exactly where they need to be, but thankfully dwindling for Kaiserklein, that town centre, diligently focusing them there. We do have veteran something coming in for the Dutch player. Is going to be Hussars. Yeah, that's going to be what he needs. Veteran Huss going to be really powerful against not only the Gurkha, but the Soas as well. So I'm not particularly good against other cavalry. Almost all of those Soas have dwindled away. I think Kaiser's okay, especially now that the Hussars have arrived.
Yeah, the Hussars are definitely going to be able to clean this mess up, and Opti's going to be in a difficult position because Kaiserklein behind this has got the 3 banks as well as having the 2 trading posts that are currently on wood at the moment, so maybe a little bit of a mistake. They could have potentially been on
the back. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're right. But Opti's definitely on the back foot, and now we've got some Zambaraks coming in, probably going to try and save the Gurkha from the veteran Huss, but the Zambrak's really not putting out a whole bunch of damage.
No, I like that. They're vet. Just stay on them. But there's more Gurkha in the back there now. Now going to get away. Able to get those villagers back out there onto food. Got Skirm and Huss in queue. Those veteran Huss, veteran Skirm. Dutch now up to the Fortress Age. Got 2 TP Stagecoach with 3 banks. I think he's doing all right. Look at the score lead there. He's got about 3,000 extra points. And I think Kaiserklein would be feeling pretty good. 9 Reuters coming in next as well. Shall we switch back to Optibb?
What are these villagers doing? We can definitely take a look at Optibb, but these are Optimus's villagers. He's got 7 forward villagers taking a hunt of Kaiserklein. So this is a new strategy that's developed, more of an advanced strategy, I would say. Don't try this at home, kills children. This is
gathering on the front line where no one would least expect them. Got to take risks to win.
Oh gosh, all right, but Optibb's in a position. I think he's got to commit to the second age, and he's definitely sending all of his upgrade cards. So he's got the camel attack that's coming in now, going to be increasing camel attack by 30%. So that's for both the Soa as well as for the Zambarak. So we're going to see that go up from 15 up to 19, and the Soa attack now at 26. So they do 32
and now
damage.
Make a timing work, right? Like this is the do or die push. Your opponent, you gotta nip it in the bud before they can get too many. Before Dutch gets too many things out.
Yeah, well, once he's in that 3-unit composition and he's in the Fortress Age, it's just going to be so hard for Optibb to deal with Kaiserklein's mass. I suspect we're going to be seeing, he's got a whole bunch of skirmishers that are still being trained. He's in a pretty comfortable position, not opting to go for any more banks, so he's sitting on 3 banks right now. He's happy with that. Can't believe I forgot to cancel CM. Lol, so bad.
Oh, we thought it was intentional.
Yeah. It looked pretty good for me because I'm thinking, he's putting out extra damage onto the Soars. He's keeping them, he's essentially able to 2-shot Soars. I mean, not exactly 2-shot them. It probably need a little bit more, but it's definitely, helping out.
To fight them indeed.
Yeah.
And at the time, he had only Gurkha, skirmishers, so it makes sense. Reuters now coming in, though, starting to mass up sort of a lot of units here. I mean, Kaiser we can see he's not super pleased with how it went because of the colonial militia, but I think he doesn't need to worry. Like, this is a good spot. Oh, though, they've been found, and they're gonna and he sees them as well.
Oh, it's a risky strategy. Let's see how it pays off, Cotton.
I think maybe they rallied over there with something. Are they Autovilles? No, I don't think he's got the cons in.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what they're doing, but we've got a bit of a fight breaking out at the moment. This is the do or die situation. Optibb is moving in. He knows he's going to lose those villagers, so he's really got to make something work here. Soa's going down on the front line. 240 HP.
That's clever, man.
It's clever indeed. A whole bunch of skirmishers rallying in now to support. But it definitely looks like Kaiserklein's going to be able to hold. We've got veteran Hussars as well, which are going to be able to clean this up. I don't think that Optibb's going to be able to hold. Definitely pulling ahead.
There's a lot of red coats in there. It's not like the snare is going to work too well. He can try and get away. Yeah, he's going to be able to disconnect and sort of get away. So it's not like a cleanup. But yeah, that's a lot of stuff for Kaiser. And you can see the score's only widening. But Optibb going to get those units away to fight another day. What does he have in Q5? Soa, +1. He's got a shipment ready. Is there much else? Something's coming. It's okay.
Desert Terror.
Desert Terror.
So with that, we've got a forward bank going down. So both players opting for the frontline economy, a very rare strategy. But it's I mean, it is what it is. What can I say? No other real shipments behind this. Probably could be going for the Tiger Claws. I think the Tiger Claws now get countered by the Reuters. Is that right? Do they get
Tiger Claws are shock infantry. So yes, indeed.
Right, yeah, so there's not too many Reuters out on the field, though. Kaiserklein really just focusing... I love this. Typically from the Dutch, what you see is the skirmishers and the Reuter mass, and then eventually they'll switch into Hussars. But what Kaiserklein is doing is he's just sending his Reuters... he's sending Reuters from the home city. So he's got 18 Reuters. He's now sending... so he's got the 9 from the home city as well as the 9 that he built earlier. And he's really focusing on building a lot of Hussars up. So he's got 10 Hussars out on the field at the moment. Those Hussars are just going to be doing a lot of work, and people don't really expect it. And Optibb just calling good game. No fight, no nothing. I think he just appreciated that that the game wasn't in a winnable point.
He saw that fight earlier. He saw how many units there were. He was lucky to disconnect from it. And the follow-up he had, we checked it. Sours in queue, Desert Terror didn't have any Sours left. Just didn't seem like there was much going on from that point. And, it's never a good start when you go for Stagecoach and your opponent mostly benefits from it the rest of the game. So well done to Kaiserklein. A nice victory from him there. But by no means, a one-sided series. Kaiserklein, I think he lost the first game. So now up 1 point ahead, 3-2. Yeah. Shaping up to be a nice best of 9. This is what we want to see.
So
bear in mind, Kaiserklein no longer has Dutch left to play.
That is actually the final game of the series. Inter. So that
he's not best of 9s.
This is a best of 5. So best of 9 is for the final day. Tomorrow we've got a best of 7 between Kaiserklein and whoever wins the next series. And so that was the final game. So taking it all the way to the line. So going 3-2 all the way. So incredible stuff there. I guess one of the things that we saw, I mentioned in the early game about the Agra Fort, and with the Agra Fort, obviously, if that Agra Fort had been placed along the trade line or even just in the center of the map, then Optibb would have been in a much better position to defend his trading posts. And as a result, it meant that he was on the back foot from the very beginning of the game with those pikemen. So I guess it's one of those things you might have to head back to the drawing board with this strategy. Maybe rethink the Carney Martyr.
And they're, are they tin mines in base?
Yeah, they are tin mines in base. So 1,500 resources on these ones.
Yeah.
1,500 resources on every single mine on the map.
Not quite copper mines or silver mines at 2,000, so another compounding. This is less coin for the Carney Martyr as well. Yeah, nice win from Kaiserklein. Well done, picks himself up the series. There's another series coming up. Do you want me to stick around for that?
We would love you to stick around for that. So that one is going to be the series between Samwise and Ezad. So we've got those games as well. But before we do that, we're going to head over to the EGC TV channel. So don't go anywhere if you're watching this at the moment on Twitch. We're going to be taking it over from my stream over to EGC TV. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I encourage you at 18 GMT on Saturday and Sunday. So that's this weekend, the 18th and the 17th of April. Come over to Twitch. We're going to be over on the EGC TV Twitch channel. I'll leave a link down in the description. The winner of this series, Kaiserklein, is going to be playing the winner of the second series, which, if you're interested in seeing that, that is going to be linked on the EGC YouTube channel. So I'll provide a link for that one in the description as well. And I hope that you guys have enjoyed the video. Other than that, I'll catch you guys in the next one.